Hello and welcome to another Sprues and Brews unboxing video, and in today's video we're going to be checking out a couple of things. The first thing is the latest warband for Warhammer Underworlds Wyrdhollow, and that is Skabbik's Plaguepack. We're also going to be checking out the latest Rivals deck, which is called Paths of Prophecy, so we're going to be checking out the cards for this. Now, just to give you a bit of an introduction to both of these things, we get ever so many Warhammer Underworlds warbands between sort of the big starter boxes, or each season, should I say. I actually personally think the seasons are coming a bit too fast, but that's for a different time, a different video. We're concentrating on this particular warband. So I'm a massive Skaven fan. If you listen to our podcast, you'll know that. I've recently built just over 2,000 points, or built and painted 2,000 points of Skaven, which I've been wanting to do for ages. But I've actually never painted any of the Clan Pestilence stuff, which this warband is. So I'm really looking forward to getting these built and painted, and it could be the start of me adding a whole new range of models to my Skaven. You know, get some more of the gribbly, nurgly rats on the go. So yeah, really excited about this. It looks like it's a really cool warband. I like the fact there's a little rat in here as well. But we're going to be taking a close look at the sprues in a few moments. So that's the main thing that we're going to be unboxing today. But we will also be checking out this Rivals deck. Now, the Rivals decks are a really interesting addition to the game because it's just basically a deck straight out of the box. You don't have to add anything to it or take anything away. It can be used with any of your warbands. If you've got any of the older ones, then this is a great way, or one of the great ways, that you can just pick up a deck and get playing. They've done a few of these now, and they all seem to have sort of, you know, specialism. Some are really good for like your elite warbands. Some are good if you've got hordes or particularly magic heavy. So we're going to check out what this one's like. I'm hoping that these two go together quite nicely, because I've been really wanting to get back into Underworlds for a while. It's been a little while since I've played it. A few of my friends have been playing it more recently than I. So this could be the warband that gets me playing weekly again. So we shall see. I think that's enough of me rabbiting on. Oh, one more thing, actually. Thanks to Games Workshop for sending these to us to review. It's always very much appreciated. And also, towards the end of this video, hopefully I'll be able to show you some painted pictures of this warband. If not, Bill, although I'm hoping to get them all painted. Fingers crossed. So, yeah, I think that's enough of me chatting. I think it's time to unbox both of these things. Transition incoming. And so it is time to start unboxing these items. And the first one we're going to be checking out is Skabbik's Plaguepack for Wyrdhollow. So again, really excited for this one because it brings another Skaven warband to the Underworld. This time Clan Pestilence. Really nice artwork on the front showing off the members of the warband. And on the back there we've got a beautiful painted version of the leader Skabbik himself, Plague Seeker. And all these buddies on like a dark green sprue, which we'll check out in a second. So the contents with 6 fighters, the fighter cards, a Rivals deck, objective cards, gambit cards, and upgrade cards. And then, as always, just gives you a brief sort of, you know, what Underworlds is about. Build your warband, set your deck, defeat your rivals. All push fit minis still. So let's get this opened and check out the sprues. The first thing I want to note, it's been a while since I've unboxed some Underworlds. It comes in a little box that opens up like that. I don't know how long they've been doing that. It used to come in like a plastic bit. Obviously, this is a lot better for the environment. But I thought that was quite cool and well worth showing off. So let's have a look at the contents. It comes on 2 sprues. So here's the first one. Let's just get that in focus. Here we go. So we've got some very cool bases, very similar to the original Skaven warband that came out years and years ago. I can't think what it was called. It's part of the little rat there. Again, really nice base. I like the what they call manhole covers. It's a bit of a bulky arm, isn't it? He's been working out. So yeah, very cool. Let's flip that over. As with all Underworlds, they're all push fit, so they all should be very straightforward to go together. I say that, some Underworlds warbands, I find personally, you need an extra hand to hold them in place. But for the most part, they're fairly straightforward to assemble. So that's the first sprue. And then we check out the second sprue. So again, we've got some nice detailed bases. So a rat tail there. It's all beefy arms. Oh, they're not arms, are they? There's clouds of smoke. Of course they are. Like I said, they come on this green sprue in case you have never actually decide to paint them. Maybe you just want to get into some Underworlds. It sets your warband apart from everybody else's because they're on this specifically coloured sprue. I'll flip that over. And yeah, it looks fairly straightforward to go together. Can't see many issues there. So they are your warband, your fighters. We're going to check out the cards in a second, but there they are. And finally, we have the instructions. So let's have a quick look at these. Here we go. It's one of the larger size Underworlds warbands, but really easy to put together, especially the little rat guy at the end. Very cool. Right, so that's the models. Let's check out this deck. So before we take a proper look at the deck, let's check this out. And this is basically your mechanic for this particular warband. So it looks like you're wanting to corrupt the objectives or territories. It says at the end of an action phase, a player's and or no one's territory are corrupted by a warband if one or more of the following are true. 2 or more friendly fighters are in that territory. 1 or more friendly befoulers are on an objective in that territory. When a territory becomes corrupted, it remains corrupted until the end of the next action phase, even if this is as a result of a power card. A territory can be corrupted by multiple warbands at the same time. And that's because I think corrupted is also the Nurgle one as well, but it's been a while since I've seen those guys. So it'd be interesting. Let me know in the comments if that's very similar or the same as the Nurgle one. The other side of the card just talks a bit about the background of this warband and why they are in the Wyrdhollow. So that's like your mechanic. We're now going to have a look at the cards. So starting with the fighters, we've got the leader himself, the Plague Seeker. So there's your Befouler special rule at the start of each round. Stagger each enemy a fighter adjacent to his fire. So it keeps, push the enemy away. Skaven aren't known for their defense, so if there's any way of getting your enemy out of combat with you, then that's great. So that's a cool special rule to help you with that. He's got quite a cool warp staff. He's not really got much defense at all and 4 wounds, so you really want to keep this guy safe. To inspire, 2 or more territories are corrupted by your warband. I wonder if that's going to be the same for all of them. When he inspires, his defense goes up a little bit. It's now a shield, and he gets an extra dice. And basically, his warp staff's more likely to go off. Is the Befouler special rule stays the same. So that is very cool. So that's your leader. We've then got Rabidus Stench. He's a minion. He has the same Inspire mechanic. I assume all of them will. He also has the Befouler special rule, and he's got a couple of different attacks. So he's got a Plague Sense that can be used to adjacent fighters, and the Plague Sense as well, which has got a bit of a better range on it. So that's cool. And when he's inspired, he again, his damage is a bit more reliable. His attacks are, but he's pretty squishy. 1 dodge and only 3 health. But yeah, I can see these being a bit of a finesse warband because they are a bit squishy. But at least you get plenty of fighters. Itchit is next. The Book of Woe. Roll 1 magic dice for each enemy fighter in the same territory as fire on a roll of it. That's cool. I don't think I've seen an ability like that before. So it's like almost like an AoE attack. Yeah, I like that. That's very cool. Not so great in combat. Maybe this guy you just want sat safe doing this ability, trying to deal damage to multiple enemies. And when he inspires, that ability is a bit easier to go off, and his weapon gets a bit better as well. But you're probably wanting him to do that Book of Woe ability. That's very cool. We then move on to Poxlix. I assume that's pronounced. He's got some Foetid blades. So no real special rules on him apart from he's got Grievous on his weapon. He's only got 2 wounds. Oh dear. It's very squishy. Goes up to 3 when he inspires. and his weapon becomes more reliable. I think we'll find that a lot with these guys. Not much health, but at least you get plenty of them. It's one thing that rats do well. Come in numbers. Ricket. I like the names of these guys. Very similar to the last one. He's got a bit of a better range on his weapon. Still has Grievous. Flip that over for when he inspires. His weapon becomes a little bit better. And then finally, we've got one more character left. And that is the little rat, who's called Skritter? Skritter, is that his name? Poor thing's got a worthless special rule. If this fighter will be taken out of action, remove it from the battlefield and clear all counters and persisting effects from this fighter. It is not taken out of action. So he's a bit harder to take down. He'll keep coming back, which is very cool. I mean, his stats aren't that great. He only gets 1 wound, but he's quicker than the rest of the Warband with a movement of 5. And what happens when he inspires? Yeah, his defense goes up a little bit, but that's about it. But he's a cool little character, and he's probably going to be one of the first ones I paint, I think. We'll now just have a quick look at the deck that's included with the Warband. So we've got some brand new objectives. Again, this deck is ready to use straight out of the box, so you don't have to do any deck building or add or take away any cards. You literally can get straight into a game. So we've got, I think it's 12 objective cards. Suppose immediately after an enemy fighter take out action by damage dealt by friendly Befouler, which is pretty much all you guys. That's quite an easy one to grab. For 1 glory point, blessed by corruption. The artwork on some of these cards is absolutely amazing. Let's call this an end phase if the 3 or more territories are corrupted. That should be quite easy to do. Well, I say that. It's quite a big warband, so hopefully you can get territories corrupted pretty early doors. Looks like corrupt is going to come up a lot. An awful lot in your objectives, but that is the mechanic of the warband. So they're very cool. They don't seem too hard, they seem very achievable. And they also play perfectly into the mechanics of the warband. So it's immediately after opponent's activation step, if there are 1 or more friendly fighters in 2 or more territories. So yeah, you want to get out of your territory pretty quickly, corrupt other territories, spread yourselves out, but not too much, because you Skaven probably do need to gang up a little bit if you've got any hope of taking anybody down, because they haven't really got that much health. So moving on to gambits now. So a whole bunch of new gambits for these guys. Again, some beautiful artwork. I'm not going to read out every card, but I'm seeing some really cool abilities here. Stuff like that's very good, especially when you've got so many models to get those movement in. Overpowering odors. Yeah, that's cool. Pestilent Blessing. Rancid Vomit. Roll 1 magic dice. Choose enemy fighter adjacent to 1 or more friendly Befoulers. Deal 2 damage to chosen fighter. That's pretty good. Got some upgrades now. Drove is handy. +1 defense. That'll come really handy on any of your Warband members. Oh, that's cool. Glorious Sacrifice. A nice easy way of corrupting. Doesn't mean losing one of your Warband, but for the good of the cause and all that. Rotted Flesh. Screaming Lunatic. Unbelievable Stench. Voice of the Great Corrupter. This fighter is a priest. If 1 or more friendly leaders are out of action, this fighter is the leader. I like that. That's very cool. Can only use that on Itchit, but that's it's a very unique upgrade, I think. Not seen something like that before. Maybe you guys have. I've not unboxed all that many Underworlds, even though as much as I love the game. Yeah, that's a really nice deck, and I think that plays perfectly into the fighters that you have. I think it looks like quite a balanced, fun. The objectives from first impressions anyway. I think it should be quite easy to get some glory and apply some of those upgrades. So that seems like a really fun deck to play out of the box. Obviously, the defenses are great. You're probably going to have to play very, very clever with them. Otherwise, you could be getting wiped out pretty quickly. But they look like a very fun warband to use, and I cannot wait to paint them up. We have got one more thing just to quickly look at, and that is the Rivals deck. We're now going to look at Paths of Prophecy, the newest Rivals deck. So you could use this instead of the cards that come with the Plaguepack. And of course, you can use them with any of the other warbands, no matter when they came out. It could be the original warbands. It could have been one that only came out a few months ago. It doesn't matter. Brings new cards to your game. So comes in this handy little pouch. Which then looks like this when you pull it out. Just slide that out of there. And you've got your Paths of Prophecy Rivals deck. So let's see what kind of cards are in here. Alright, so here we go. So we've got some brand new objectives. So same phase, if your warband holds objective 5. I remember sort of when Underworlds first came out, there was lots of just like capture objective 2 or whatever, very simple kind of objectives. As the game's gone on, like we just saw with the Plague Core pack of cards, objectives are they're more varied now than ever before. But it's good to see some of the classics sort of still living true, or the value of objectives your warband holds up to 5. It's quite cool. Holds objectives again. These all seem to be sending on certain objectives, all part of the plan. Lots of numbers in this one. Holds each objective. Surgeon Hybrid card. Check out the artwork. It's so cool. Held in a bloody fist. This one is very much about objectives. So actually, I think this one, just on first impressions, could be good for the Skaven because you've got lots of rats that you can be getting onto objectives. This might be a slightly harder one for your more elite sort of warbands like the Stormcast, where you've only got 2 or 3 models. Yeah, see, example there. Positive foreboding, your warband holds more objectives than each other warband. Oh, that's cool. Written in the stars. Sky, sorry, can't even read. Your lucky day. Scores immediately after an opponent's activation step if the value of objectives your warband holds up to 7. Lots of adding up objectives with this one. Pack sealed in blood. That's cool. There's some magic abilities there. Stagger each enemy fighter has been 1 hex from objective token their warband does not hold. Okay. That'd be handy for the Skaven. Or for quite a few the warbands, in fact. Well, that's cool. Different way of upgrading your characters without spending any glory points. Again, another good one for the Skaven. Anything that sort of helps the movement or helps you activate different fighters is cool. Healing ability. Tread the path. That's cool. Speaking of, just remember this is the 3rd Skaven warband. I've been saying throughout this video there's only been 2, but there's been 3. You had the original one, and then of course you had the Escher one, and now you've got the Clan Pestilence. I wonder if that means we'll eventually get a Clan Skyer one. That'd be really cool. With some Acolytes or something, that'd be ace. Nothing special. Some upgrades. This fighter cannot be pushed. Cool. And that's our deck. I think that could be quite good for the Skaven. I'm only mentioning the Skaven because obviously I'm unboxing in the same video. There's quite a few movement shenanigans. It was mainly the objectives I was thinking. There's lots of scoring when you're holding certain objectives on the battlefield, and that could be quite good for a reasonably quick warband like the Skaven, that have got the numbers to be getting on different objectives. Some of the other cards like the upgrades and stuff maybe aren't quite as suited. But yeah, I think that would be quite a handy deck for them, as well as maybe some other horde kind of decks. Maybe the goblins actually. Zarbag's Gits, I think they're called. Could be quite a good deck for them. But yeah, maybe a little bit too hot with all these like score this objective, score that objective. If you've got like the Stormcast and you've got like 3 or 4 models, it might be a little bit harder. But I'm sure you Underworlds sort of super fans will know what kind of warbands this would be best suited to. But at least you've had a chance to check out the cards and make your own mind up. So that is the Paths to the Prophecy Rivals deck. Yeah, quite like that. I think for the flavour of the one that comes with the Skaven, I'll probably try that a few times first. But this is definitely something that I want to check out in the near future. I might give this a go as well. What I really want to do is I really want to paint some Clan Pestilence. So hopefully after this next transition, I'll be able to show you some painted Skaven. So fingers crossed. And so a few days have passed since we've done the unboxing of this new Underworlds Warband, and it's time to find out if I will manage to paint them. And the good news is I have applied some paint to them. The bad news is I didn't actually, unfortunately, get to finish them, but they're coming along pretty well. So we're going to take a closer look at them now. They were a really nice warband to build. Sometimes, and I think I may have mentioned this during the video, that they can be a little bit fiddly to build, like you almost need a third hand. But I didn't find that with these. It was a really satisfying build. So yeah, really enjoyed them. That's the first one. Let's take a look at this guy. Just going to nudge my light back a little bit because I think that's quite bright. Hopefully that's a little bit better. There we go. So yeah, I've done quite a bit of work on the sort of clothes, but they still have quite a bit to go on them. But I'm really looking forward to finishing these off, potentially on the returning stream. More on that. Keep your eye on our social media as things are happening behind the scenes. He's very cool. So all these bandages and stuff to do in the sewer pipe that he stood on. But yeah, I really enjoy building them. I'm always a little bit conscious that maybe a few parts are a little bit fiddly. Just my experience of Underworld's warbands, but no such problem with this one. Really cool. There's a couple little bits of mistakes there, but they are coming along nicely. I've also managed to have a bit more of a closer look at the cards. Obviously, I will be talking. It's more of a review on the website, which will be accompanying this video. The link for that will be in the YouTube description. But having looked at the cards a bit closer, I really do think these are going to be really fun to play with. It looks like it's going to be quite easy to corrupt areas of the battlefield in order to make the most out of these guys. To get the most out of their abilities. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying them. I mean, they are quite sort of weak health-wise, but with the right buffs and stuff, especially, I think it was this guy. He's a bit of a missile. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing a bit more with them. I've just shown you then the leader with his warpstone staff. It's really made me want to paint some more Clan Pestilence once I finish these. And I've left the best model in the warband till last. It's this little fella. Apologies for the light. It wasn't quite so bright when I did some test shots. But it does seem to be really bright now. But hopefully you can see those details on the models. I'm really looking forward to finishing this guy. He hugs that warpstone tightly. So yeah, that's the video all done and dusted. Like I say, this one was more of an unboxing. If you want to check out a full review or a review of the Plaguepack, check out spruesandbrews.com, where I'll be putting my thoughts down in an article. But I think it's a really fun looking warband to play. Again, the Rivals deck looks a lot of fun as well. I think I probably prefer the card deck that these guys come with for this particular warband. But I think the Rivals deck definitely has some use in other for other warbands. Our thanks again to Games Workshop for sending us these items to review for you. Back into focus. It's been a lot of fun, and I've already told the guys that we need to get a game of Underworlds on the go ASAP. Let's see how these guys do, and keep an eye on social media, because I'll be posting how they do on there. Yeah, and that wraps up this video. So thanks for joining me. We'll be back again very soon with some more content, and like I say, we've got news on the painting stream as well very, very, very soon. Speak to you guys soon. Bye.